All right, Steve, let's go back to the early 80s. What was the original idea behind, not only the show, but your character, Red Green?
There was a guy who had a fishing show on CTV, Red Fisher, the Red Fisher Show, Scuttlebutt Lodge, and he'd have Ted Williams with his buddy. They'd come in and have a bottle of scotch and try to make a sentence. And I just found him really fascinating guy because he'd have episodes where he didn't catch a fish, which I thought was unusual for a fishing show. But nothing was ever bad enough to be edited out. Like, they would shoot 30 minutes of material for 30 minutes of content. And he had his own poetry and everything. And I just thought, this guy's fantastic. So I was trying to satirize him. That's why I picked the name Red. And then I thought the worst name in the world would have to be Green. And it turns out I'm a genius because every stoplight is a promo.
You know, Steve, just over 300 episodes, a movie, and an incredible cast. I mean, Graham Greene, Patrick McKenna, and the late Wayne Robson, who I was a huge fan of. What are you the most proud of when it came to the Red Green Show?
Well, I think the thing I'm most proud of is that we did 15 seasons, and I can't remember a harsh word between me and anybody or between anybody and anybody. And it was just like a bunch of friends meeting at a club on a Saturday morning and just doing some fun things together. That's what I'm most proud of.
The idea of Possum Lodge, I mean, everybody wants to go visit Possum Lodge. Heck, I want to go see it. Where did that originate from?
Like a possum, I think a possum should almost be Canadian. I don't think there should be any possums anywhere else in the world because we kind of pretend to be kind of low-key and maybe sometimes that we're not thinking about things, but we just don't want you to know what we're thinking. We keep our cards pretty close to our chest, so I think the possum is definitely a Canadian thing. We just made it up. We want people to have a place in their mind, at least, that they could go where maybe life was simple and have a few laughs.
You know, the show featured many segments which were truly original. Adventures with Bill, the Possum Lodge word game, and my favorite, Handyman Corner. Always loved that segment. What was your favorite segment to shoot?
I probably enjoyed the Handyman Corner as much as anything because it combined the words with the physical comedy, so you could actually and the creativity to be able to turn a clothes dryer into a popcorn machine. That's just something like a 9-year-old kid would want to do, and it's something I want to do. There's still a 9-year-old kid in me, and in probably most men. So like that, I like the word game. I like the ability to. That was like very condensed comedy to me. Somebody would say one word, and somebody would say another word, and that's about as tight as you can get. So I enjoyed that. But I would say to put it all together, Handyman Corners were my favorite.
You know, I remember when it first came out on TV, and I thought, what the heck kind of show is this? But it grows on you. It really does.
Yeah, you know, we've never been mainstream. We've never had a huge audience, but we've always done fine. Like, we always had enough of an audience. And being on those stations in PBS in the States, it's not that you need a big audience there. You just need an audience that will write a check to see more episodes, and they did that. We were the highest pledge raising series that PBS had.
Let's get to the world tour, the I'm Not Old, I'm Ripe World Tours. First of all, that's such a great name for it. It kicks off September 8th in Arizona and makes a stop in Alberta, Edmonton as well, September 25th at the Jubilee. What will fans experience during the show?
Well, this is my third tour, and certainly the third time I brought a tour to Edmonton. So if anybody went to the first two, they know that if I'm doing another tour, it's all brand new. There's nothing, no repeats. This one is autobiographical. This is the first time Red Green will take you through from his birth right through his growing up and meeting girls and getting married and having a job and dealing with life, along with the normal handyman stuff. So it's one of those. I'm not saying it's my last tour because it may not be, but I thought, you know what, I better tell Red's story pretty soon, just in case.
Well, you know what? Before I let you go, speaking of Red, I'm going to talk to Red Green just for a sec here. You know, I'm pushing 36 this year, still a young guy, but what advice would Red Green give to a man pushing into his early 40s?
Well, I would say the first thing you have to do is to focus on a life partner. I don't know who that is, if there's one in your life or not, but if you're lucky enough to get one, then you latch onto her, and you think about this. If your wife is having fun and you're not, you're still having way more fun than when you're having fun and she's not.
Red Green and Steve Smith, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. Awesome talking to you.
You too, Jeremy, and take care of yourself.